All right, and welcome back. Continuing to work on the tail cone. There are several boxes on the tables there. I recently received my Dynon D10 Alpha unit for my Piper Cherokee. I purchased the STC from EAA and plan on putting that in the Cherokee in place of the attitude indicator that's currently in there. So I'm looking forward to installing that. But as of right now, it's just in a bunch of boxes sitting in my garage. Starting to work on getting the top skin installed into the tail cone. My daughter is there. She's been recruited to help me. And most of these, well, a good portion of these you can actually reach both on the forward end and the aft end, depending on obviously your arm reach and whatnot. But I was able to get a good portion of these both on the forward end and on the aft end. But for everything else, I'm putting in pillows to allow my daughter to sit in there semi-comfortably while we rivet the top skin to the rest of the skins for the tail cone. So just kind of discussing with her, letting her know what the plan is and how we're going to go about getting these done. She's got a set of earmuffs on, so when she does go in, she won't get her ears blasted out from being inside the tail cone. But I start out working on the forward end, just what I can reach. Go ahead and get those knocked out. No sense in her being inside the tail cone for the things that I can reach. And now fast forward, I've gotten everything I can. You still don't rivet the first few holes where it joins with the rest of the fuselage eventually. You leave those empty. And the instructions point out which ones not to rivet. But my daughter's now inside the tail cone and sitting on all the couch cushions that I could find. And we go through the process of getting the rest of these rivets put in place. Now there's also, as I discussed in a previous video, there's a frame on the forward end of the top skin, and you rivet that to the forward bulkhead, that the larger ring that you saw earlier. So you rivet that in place, and then you start riveting the skins, starting from the forward, working your way aft, and just paying attention to the instructions as to what size rivets to use as you're going along. And then again here, fast forwarding a little bit. Getting close to the tail section of the top skin, and we get to a point here pretty quickly where the rest of it I can reach from the aft end, where that where the deck is there. There's an opening, and you can reach from within that opening to get everything else. I think the majority of these were the 3-3.5 rivets, and I think those are pretty commonly used throughout the aircraft for the skins, except for the portions where you might have an extra frame that you're riveting through. The vast majority of the skins will be riveted by the 3-3.5s, it appears. So you just go through, you look, make sure that you pay attention. In fact, you can see two Clecos there in the middle. I think those are 3-4s. Just because it goes through an extra frame. So now this is a day or two later. I've got everything riveted in place for the top skin, and the tail cone is coming to be. It's as I've said before, it's actually a very quick section. Section 10, I believe it's section 10. The tail cone goes pretty easily, pretty quickly. There's a few things that are little gotchas here and there, just to make sure you're paying attention and following what the directions tell you. But for the most part, it's pretty easy and goes really quick. So like I said, these are rivets that you're able to reach by reaching through the aft bulkhead there at the forward end of the deck there. and just going through and just finishing off all the rivets here. I'm as of the time that I'm editing this video, I am pretty much complete with the empennage kit. I have the horizontal stabilizer and the vertical stabilizers bolted in place, not permanently, but and also I have the elevators and the rudder are now hanging and in place. It's pretty cool to look at it and see it. You know, everything's in place and it looks like a real piece of an airplane. So it's a lot of fun. So here I'm working on the right elevator, getting ready to drill through the horn to match up with that central bearing there. I think I discussed in a previous video that I had messed up the left side, the left elevator. In that I drilled the hole that I'm about to drill here. You match drill it to a size 30 through a sheath or a metal piece that you stick into the bearing, and then you put the drill in there and use it as a drill guide, basically, to make sure that you're drilling straight through the bearing and everything stays lined up. Well, on the left one, I had done that, and then it has you step it up to a 1/4 inch hole, and my stupid universal step bit was marked incorrectly, so I drilled it too big. So now I'm working on the right side, and now I know to pay attention to what size I really need to drill it when I upsize the hole. But getting everything ready, like I said, you use the drill guide through the bearing, lines everything up, and you're good to go. So now I'm doing I'm stepping it up to a 1/4 inch hole, and I'm being very cautious that I only drill it to a 1/4 inch and not 5/16 or so. And then also, as I'm going through, I start looking at the tail cone, and I notice that on the top skin and the forward end, the holes on the skin are dimpled, but stupid me, I forgot to dimple the doubler that's underneath there at the forward end. So now I'm trying to catch up, and just basically I dimpled through the frame and through the skin, everything together, and it seems to work fine. There's two that I wasn't able to reach just because the throw wasn't long enough, so I might have to buy the other yoke to go on that to reach those at some point, but that's something I can do in the future. So now here is another big stage for the section that I'm in. I'm starting to put on the horizontal stabilizer to get it ready to line everything up. So once you get this in place, it's got, I believe it's 6 bolts, 2 in the front that I'm working on now, and then 4 on the aft end. You get it in place, you bolt the two pieces in front, and then you cleco the aft end, and then you match drill, I think up to, I want to say it was a 1/4 inch on the aft end. But there's some holes that you match drill, and then drill up. You upsize the holes, like I said, either to a size 30 or to a 1/4 inch. Now the 2 bottom holes on the very aft of this piece, you have to either get a right angle drill or get a longer drill bit. I have the pneumatic drill, and the body of the drill just kept hitting the very tail section, or very aft section of the tail cone there, so I couldn't get the perpendicular angle to it. And the instructions tell you, make sure that you drill these perpendicular. In fact, it tells you to put together some kind of drill guide to ensure that you are drilling perpendicular to the frame. So that way when you run the bolts through, they're a good angle and have a good hold. So I ended up going down and buying a longer 1/4 inch drill bit to accommodate. But I think I also just recently picked up a right angle drill, so that if I have to get into a tight spot, I'm able to do so in the future. So Once you get all that drilled in, then you're ready to go to the next step, which is starting to put on the vertical stabilizer and go through the rest of the process. So I'm going to go ahead and let this video end here. Again, for those who continue to watch these videos, I appreciate you. If you can, do me a favor, hit that like button. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. I'll get back to you and we'll try to figure out what we can. It's always good to learn as I'm going along. So we'll see you next time around.